So in business intelligence chapters, we learned what is ETL tool. ETL means the ETL tool will extract, transform, and load the data. Okay, extract from the source system, transforming the data, and when our data is ready, data means the maybe the fact, maybe the dimensions. When all the data is cleansed and properly transformed to maintain proper business logic, we are good to go to load the final tables into our target data warehouse. Data warehouse means it can be a database. Okay, just like MySQL database, data warehouse can be another type of database which will be storing the fact and dimension as table format. Okay, so on the last working days, we learned how we can extract the data from source system by using Python. Okay, after that, we learned how to transform the data by Python data frames. Okay, we used lots of transformation in last 2 days on top of Python data frames. There we completed some aggregations, we completed sorting, we completed filtering, joins. Join means merging activity, appending activity, lots of stuffs we have covered. So those are the important steps in data frame by which we can clean or transform the data and store it to final data frames. So when our data frames are ready to load it at the target side, then we need to push uh, the final data frame into target. Target means the target database. Okay, let me show the thing. I think someone joined. Hi, Vikas. The same thing I'm just telling. There is a confusion with the daylight saving activity. So we'll be just finally confirming what timing should be there, and tomorrow will be continue with the exact or permanent time. Okay. Okay. The thing I was discussing about the recapitulation. I mean, whatever we have learned in the last few days earlier, the extraction and the transformation part in Python data frames. Today we'll be going to load the same into target system. So how we'll be loading this? Okay. So these steps are, I think it's similar while creating a data frame. I'm calling a data frame on top of teacher CSV. I think we already checked this thing. This is not required as of now. Let me just print this DFT. We are doing nothing, calling pandas. On top of pandas, I'm using read CSV function and calling a CSV file which is residing in my local system. And that DFT data frame will take that data. Let me run it. I'm just going to print it. Print DFT. Okay. Now I'll be going to push the same data frame into a target database. So let's use the same database. As of now, let's use the same source database as our target. Okay. So our source database was MySQL server. I'm opening that one by MySQL Workbench. The similar database what we used during our SQL classes. This was a particular database where we have pulled the data as well. Now our work is to push the data into that database. So how to do it? Let's push the same DFT data frame into that database. So while creating a connection engine, we can follow the same rule. We can use SQL Alchemy module. Over there, we have the class of create engine. So I'm going to create engine. I'm specifying all the important parameters for MySQL database. To connect this MySQL database, during the extraction method, whatever parameter we pass, the similar parameter we are passing because It's a connection identifier. While extracting the data or while pushing the data, we need this kind of connection identifier. So those are same. Okay. Now, while extracting the data, we are using this kind of data frame creation on top of pd.read SQL query. This is not required. So I'm removing this line. Rather, what I'm going to do, I'll be writing this data frame into that MySQL database. So how to write? DFT dot, I'll be using toSQL query method or toSQL method. Okay. Now, while writing the data, I need to push this data frame in a table format. A table format. Let's see what are the available tables in Tetra training schema. There is no teacher table. Let me impose, this thing as a teacher table. Okay. Teacher. Now, what I'm going to introduce, the connection identifier itself. Connection identifier means the engine. This is my second parameter. I can pass the database schema, but it's already declared over here. I can pass, I cannot pass. This is an optional parameter for me. Okay. Let's pass this dft.sql teacher engine. Okay. I'm going to print it over here. And I'm going a log statement just like this. When it will be successfully executed, this statement, it will be printing that the data got loaded successfully into DB. Okay, let me run it. There's an issue. What is the issue? Let's check. Unknown. Okay, Tetra training. Let me check. There's a missing. Yeah, Tetra underscore training. I'm putting a wrong database schema name. Tetra underscore training. The same thing should be there as well. Yes, let me rerun it. Yes, so this is the output and it successfully load this one. So we are getting this log message. The data got loaded successfully into DB. Now let's check the DB. Teacher table, it's not there. Let me refresh it. Yes, teacher just arrived. So let's do a select query on top of teacher to validate whether the data was successfully populated or not. Okay, there is an issue during the ETL loading process in the existing MySQL instance. So I found this issue. This is a known issue. What we have to do, just disconnecting and reconnecting a new instance of MySQL. Okay. So I faced the issue earlier as well. If I open an ongoing instance, there is an issue to write the data on the same instance over there. So better to close my target system while running the ETL job there. Now I'm running the same query. You can see the same data frame got loaded over here successfully. Index ID subject. This was the data frame and the same thing has been loaded successfully into our MySQL database. Okay, so this is the method how we can load the data from a ETL, by a ETL tool. Okay, here we are using Python. So by Python, we are loading a data frame into a particular new table. Now I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to rerun this code again. I'll be showing you some issue, how we can fix it. Okay, I'm going to rerun this. The code was successfully executed last time, but this time it failed. What is the error? The table teacher already exists. So each time when we'll be running this, by default, by the default code methodology, it will create the table teacher and it will push the data from the data frame. Now teacher table is already existing into that database data training. So it is throwing an error that the database, the table is already existed. If I change the table name _1, teacher _1, it's a new table. That particular table is not there in our target database. So the code will be running fine. Yes, but if I'm going to run the same code again, it will be throwing error because teacher 1 is just generated when we run the code the last time. Okay, so just to mention over here, by default, it is a truncate load operation. It's not a truncate load actually, sorry. It's a drop. It's thinking that whatever table I'm going to put it over here, they will be recreating the table. Okay, to avoid this kind of issue. So this should not be the normal issue. Actually, daily basis, we are not going to generate a new table to load our data. In the source system, the data can be increased. We are receiving new teacher related information. At the target, we are not going to create new teacher table daily basis. So what we can do, there is a particular parameter called if exists. Let me show you what if exists to. Okay. Pandas to SQL. Let's see what the parameters can do for us. I'm going to the pandas documentation. Okay. If exist, by default, it's fail. Let me open the documentation. In if exist, we can pass three kind of parameter. One is fail, one is replace, one is append. By default, it is fail. So if we do not put anything, if the table already exists, the job will fail or the data load is fail. Okay. If we overcome this kind of thing, we can do replace. Replace means it will, if the particular table already exists, it will drop the table and it will recreate the table. It's called replace. So let's use replace. I'm going to use teacher only. It's going to replace, it's going to drop it. I'm going to push the record. It should take some time. So what it is nothing but the truncate load strategy. At the backend, we are dropping and recreating table and pushing it. But the same thing we can tell there, refreshing the entire data from the source system and pushing it to target system. Okay, it's a truncate load methodology. Okay, replace means it is replacing the target table. If the target table is already existing, it's replacing it and it is pushing the table again. Not sure what is happening. It's taking too much time. Let me check at the target system. Let me close the instance. Yeah, because of the same instance opened over there. Maybe the same issue. I close the instance and you can see all the data successfully got loaded. Okay. So this kind of, if I put replace over here, I can run the same query again and again. So daily basis, what will happen? Whatever new data it will be received, it will not only process the new data, it will be doing a truncate load with a full refresh. The loading and extracting strategy I told and discussed in our BI classes. So similar kind of things will be going ahead with over here just for truncate load, the full refresh. Now there is another method that is called append. Okay, append, it will be appending the data. Whatever data I'm receiving, it will be just going to append it. Append method is also called insert method. Okay, we also discussed about upsert, means update and insert. So whatever existing records resides, it will be updating, and whatever new records will be residing, it will be inserting. But over here, they are simply doing append. If we go ahead with upsert, we slightly, we cannot directly use that thing. We need to do the update manually by separate way. Okay. We need to have a quick compare. What are the existing records? And some of the attributes were modified. We need to identify it, and we need to use ToSQL with a customized way. We'll be learning this thing later. Okay, let's try the append method. I'm using append and I'm going to run this. While running, let's close the ongoing instance. I'm going to run it. Successfully done. I'm going to rerun it again. Successfully ran. So 2 times I ran it. Let's see if whether 2 times the data got appended there or not. On the same table, I'm just doing a select query. So you can see the first time the data was there, we ran 2 extra times. So the data got inserted 2 extra times. Okay. So you can see it's getting repeated from here. It's nothing but insert data load, or we can also say append data load. Whatever source data is there, it's simply going to insert at the target site. Okay. So we learn two things. Replace means it will be replacing target table and loading it. It's similar kind of operation what we learned during truncate and load. It's been used for full refresh. Okay. Full data refresh. And if we have incremental data refresh, we can do append directly with ToSQL parameter. Okay. But how to do upsert, update and insert together, or update and append together? Whatever new records are appearing at the source system will be appending only those, and whatever old records are getting updated will not be truncating those records. We will be simply updating the records at the target system. How to achieve that thing? That should be my question in my, I'll be showing this thing in my next classes. I'll be giving some homework to you for the entire Python. Using Python, how we are loading from source to target. I'll be giving this thing in a homework. Okay. So this kind of exercise we already solved during our SQL classes. There, I'm giving you some data sets. So first, during SQL classes, I told that create tables, insert data. So what you are doing? So you are creating tables. Then while inserting the data, you are using insert command, insert into tables, and you are directly taking the rows and pushing it there. Okay. But the ETL is designed there. We should not have to put insert command directly there. We need to design the ETL pipeline such a way so that we need to put the file in some location. When our job will be running, the job will be fetching that particular CSV or Excel file from that location, and it will be taking data from there. It will be pulling data from there. So the similar way, the extraction method we learn. So Let me open the Excel sheet or CSV file. The same thing, we have 3 product sheets over here. It's an Excel file, okay? We need to create three different data frames during our extraction method. First method is extraction. Data should be extracted from this Excel. Each of the sheet should be representing each data frame. Okay, so this is our extraction method. When extraction is completed, we'll be having 3 different tables. Now, the transformation part, it's nothing but I am asking for a join. Okay, join means merge. In pandas, we used merge in our last class. So I'm expecting you to do the merge and get a single data frame where I'll be only having customer name, purchase date, outlet branch name, and product name. These 4 fields should be there, which you will be doing by doing the joins from these 3 data frames. Okay, this is the transformation layer. When our final data frame is ready, we need to push this data frame into a table. Now, today's class, I showed you the thing on top of MySQL database. But generally, when you will be onboarded in a project, you can see the OLTP databases and OLAP databases are different there. OLAP means the analytical purpose, whatever database we are using, means the target systems. Okay. For OLTP system, that particular database can be, it cannot be much efficient or just like this. Okay. It is also, I think it's comparing low cost database than that of the OLAP. OLAP, we can do the analysis. The size is also big as we are pushing all the data, historical informations as well at the target system. Today's exercise, today's hands-on part, we use the same database as the target system. But during the exercise, I'll be telling you to load the final data in a Snowflake database with a truncate and load strategy. Okay, now I'll be helping how to launch a Snowflake database. Snowflake is a very important database nowadays. I mean, all the projects or application you can see they're using a Snowflake database. It's a cloud-based database. I created my own account there. How to create an account? Now I'll be sharing this thing. This is very, very important for everyone. And nowadays it is very hot topic to create a Snowflake DB and how to know NoSQL and all. Okay. So just like you can see, I have opened the Snowflake database on a portal. You can also open this thing. How to open this? Let me quickly share it. Snowflake. So you should be getting 30 days trial if you're opening a new account for Snowflake. Okay. So you can use the trial version as of now. You can create your own account at Snowflake. Use the Snowflake database for 30 days. And when 30 days is over, you can renew it with the amount, or you can, as we are just creating those account for learning purpose, we can work this thing as a trial account. There will be no issue. Okay. So this is the Snowflake website. Just register this with your first name, last name, company, your particular role there. For particular role, I mean, just you can technical any. I mean, you can put student or any technical practice or just like this. Put it. Okay, let me just fill it up for you. Uh, I'm putting Tetra. Putting any role. Suppose data engineer, India. You change the name. Okay. As of now, let's put the standard account. It will be giving me the choice what should be my backend cloud provider. because the particular database is hosted in cloud. Okay, and we are having three options, whether it can be Microsoft Azure, AWS, Amazon Web Services, or Google Cloud. Any one we can choose as per our wish. Just put the data center name as well, or in a drop down, just select it and put get started. So when you'll be clicking on get started, it will be asking one or two more question, and your account will be created, and the particular account should be shared with your mail ID. Okay, and they'll tell you in the mail ID to activate your account, just putting a username and password. I'm just showing mine. Yes, this one. So when you'll be registering, it will be, a particular link should be, or a particular mail should be provided to you. Congratulations on getting started with Snowflake. Click on the below button to activate your account. Okay, and it will be also mentioning the particular account over here. So I'm just opening the account to activate it. While doing the activation, I need to put the username and password. Okay, and when I'm putting the username and password, another mail should be, I will be getting another mail. This is my final mail, and over there I can use my username and password. I need to remember. Okay, whatever password I have given that time, I need to remember it, and there will be a dedicated login URL for my Snowflake account purpose. So how Snowflake should looks like? This is the portal. There are lots of worksheets. I'm just going inside one particular worksheet. Suppose this one. In the worksheets, the demonstration or sample data is there. You can remove this. This is just like a query editor, how we are doing in MySQL. In the left hand panel, we can see available demonstration database is there. Okay, just like Snowflake sample data. Let me expand it. Those are different database schemas. Okay, I'm checking any one of them. I'm checking the tables. The customer table. Let me select customer table. Sorry. Yeah, I just double click and there all the columns are expanded over here. Or I can directly put it there. Give me some second. I can load it there, or directly I can put a select star from this table itself. Okay. Do anything. Now, how I can get rid of this? It's open. Okay. Yeah. But let me put. I'm typing manually tpch underscore sf10 dot customer. I'm just choosing this one and doing a select query on top of this. Selecting it and going to execute it. Okay. First of all, I need to use a database command. Which database I'm going to run it? So I can put another command first. Use database Snowflake sample data. Sorry. I'm going to use this database. So I need to just mention this thing at the top. Or I can also do this thing. Database name dot schema name dot customer, table name. This is also possible. But let me use the conventional way. I'm using a database, use database name. Object does not exist. What happening? No, yeah. Printing mistake from my side. Yes, statement successfully executed. So I'm inside the database now. Okay. Now I'm going to execute a particular table from the database. Yes, so you can see this is the data inside customer table under this schema. So those are all dummy data. So when you are logging into the database, they will be giving you those kind of sample database. Okay. And one more important thing, we did not check this kind of thing in our MySQL database. In Snowflake, there are lots of roles and warehouse concepts. If I'm just clicking over here, you can see by default, they are providing us these many roles. Account admin, the account admin, system admin, those are the admin privileges. I can do all the stuffs if we have account admin or sysadmin. Means I'm the owner of the account. Okay. Now I can create warehouses if there is no warehouses. This is also a mandatory field, a mandatory parameter for a Snowflake. It's called warehouse. So by default, they are also providing us this kind of warehouse, compute underscore WH. Okay. And why Snowflake is important? We can create different warehouse sizes. You can see it's a X small, means XS. Just like a t-shirt size, we can choose different warehouse sizes over here. Maybe I'm executing a very large query, or maybe the source table is having lots of data. When executing a query, it is taking lots of time. So if we face this kind of scenario, we can change the warehouse sizes. Inside that warehouse, the database is residing. So when we are just, changing the warehouse from big or small, we are charging, we are getting charged accordingly. If we are using large warehouses, we will be charged with the large money. But as of now, we are using trial account, there will be no issue. But if we are onboarded in a project, if we are Snowflake there, so based on the sizes of warehouse, we will be charging. Okay. But to solve the exercise, as of now, no need to concentrate of warehouses because we are not going to do any Snowflake course as of now. We are going to use Snowflake as a target database as of now. So just create your account. By default, you can see there will be a warehouse. A particular role is already there. Use the same role and same warehouse. If the database is fine, it's fine. If the database is not good, create your own database. Create database. Just I'm creating a Tetra training. I'm going to create my own database for my testing purpose. Going to execute it. It's successfully executed. If I refresh it, you can see a new database has been created. So let's create this kind of database. Now inside the database, I can just, after creating of the database, let's put use database, because if we put use database, by default, this database will be used when I'm doing any DDL, DML or DQL statement. Okay. So now whatever query I'll be typing, by default, it should be under Tetra training until and unless we are putting this kind of database dot schema dot table name. Okay. Now inside the table or inside the database, you can create your table as per your own wish. You can create a database schema there as well. And you can do queries, whatever we have learned during SQL classes, you can do the same thing over here. Only difference is it's been hosted in cloud, nothing to install at your system. Okay. It's a software as a service kind of stuffs. Now use all those whatever parameter you are using, just like a role, a warehouse, a database name. If there is any schema, put the schema name. Using all those parameter, create a connection identifier for Snowflake. That I'm giving you the homework. This is required for your loading part. When you'll be going to load it, those things is required. Where it will be required? In this position. when you'll be going to create the connection identifier, just like MySQL, you need to use over here Snowflake. Okay. Username should be the same name over there. I mean, the same name that I'm getting in the mail, or I have configured it. Username, password, host name. Apart from host name, 2 or 3 more parameters are required, just like role name, warehouse name. Okay. Database name is also there over here. I mean, there as well as whatever I have given you in the example. Okay. So put all those parameters, take help from web as well, and try to create a connection engine which will connect your Snowflake, and try to push your final data frame output into that Snowflake database. This should be very exciting homework, as well as you should be clear concept of Snowflake connectivity from your Python, as well as you should be having clear concept of ETL by your own. Okay, lots of things you can cover by this exercise. So I'll be just requesting you to solve this exercise by your own. If you are stuck at any point, you can just whatever you can do, you can just send the thing by to my mail ID. I'll be checking that one. Okay, and in the class, in the next class, or I'll be giving 1 or 2 more days to solve this thing. When you'll be solving it, or if you are stuck in any point, then I'll be solving the exercise during class. Okay. Any doubts so far from anyone? Vikas, Roshni, Anvesh, is it clear about the task? If not, please tell me, I'll be repeating. Any issue with the Snowflake account creation?
No, it's clear from my side.
Okay, thanks, Vikas. So Snowflake account creation is one of the main challenge I'm telling. So just try it. If you are successfully able to do this, create the account from web first and try to have a connection from your Python. If you are successfully able to do it, you can, have a great achievement on that one. Okay. Please try this. If you are stuck in anywhere, I'll be definitely helping you in a class. In the class. But if you are stuck while understanding any concept or anything, please tell me now. Okay, I'll be providing this exercise over here. Please also circulate if anybody wants to do the same. Okay. I just shared this thing as well as I'm sharing the data set with a separate file. Sorry. Okay, so please try to solve this. The extraction method is also a bit different. During our class, we showed you the example with the CSV file, .csv file, but in the exercise I put .xls. Okay, so just only difference is you need to use read Excel method, read Excel function. Sorry, it's not a method, it's a function. And while passing the parameter, you need to pass two things. The path, along with the path, you need to pass the particular sheet number, sheet name, sorry. So, and one main challenges you should receive in Excel, you need to mention what particular row should be your header. Okay. So, 3 total parameters you need to pass. One is the particular file path. The second parameter should be the sheet name, and the fourth parameter, you need to identify the header. Okay. So hope this is understandable, and just load this thing as a truncate load. So you can use if exist replace during loading part. Please try this thing. If you are facing any difficulties, please mail me. I hope you know my mail ID. So just solve this thing. I mean, what point you are getting stuck, just share me the code and you can tell this point you are stuck. I'll be helping you. That time I'll be giving you clue. If I mean, after 1 or 2 days, I'll be solving this exercise during the class. So you can clear your total doubts over there. But I'm expecting you to complete it or at least give it a start. Okay. If there is anything, please tell me now. Okay. I hope there is no issue. Now, tomorrow I'll be showing, I mean, as a developer perspective, suppose we are writing all those codes and all. So you need to store the codes in somewhere, in some repository. So the companies or enterprises, they are using some code-based repository, just like Git, GitHub, GitLab, this kind of different uh, code versioning as well as code storing repositories are there. So how to handle those Gits and all, I'll be sharing these things, as well as you can create your new Git account there and you can store your codes there. Even the exercise that I provided, you can put all the steps in a Git repository and you can make it public and share me your link. Okay, I can directly check your codes from your Git public repository. So tomorrow I'll be showing how Git will work. Along with that, I'll be sharing some of the modules, how to use those Python modules to create your data visualization, just like Matplotlib. This should be very minimal class because we are not going to use Python as a visualization tool. But as we are learning Python, the last topics of Python should be how we can use Python with some visualization. Okay, just like a data analytics. So tomorrow we'll be learning those things, and the day after tomorrow, if you are able to solve this exercise, it's fine. Otherwise, I'll be trying to solve it in front of you so that the doubt should be cleared. Okay. Okay. So that's all for today's session. Please try to create a Snowflake account and try to establish this kind of connection by your side. That thing should be, I mean, if you're able to complete this thing, you will be much more happier. Okay. Okay. Anything? Are we good to close it? And the class timing, if anyone can help me, what should be the timing from tomorrow's class? Then it should be good for me as well. And the students are also, I mean, they're also confused what particular times you need to join or just like this. They do not have the idea. Okay. Okay, then that's all for
Here
today's.
it will
Yeah,
be previously we used to have class from 7 to 8, but
correct.
now it will be from 8 to 9.
Yeah. So, what should be the timing? I mean, today as we joined, this should be the timing, or it should be 7 to 8, so that we
This,
need.
I mean, this is fine for me, but um, I think we should ask in a group. I mean, if everyone is okay with 8 to 9, we can continue with this hours, with these timings.
Yeah. So he had that. I mean, we need to confirm from the admin as well as all the students whether they're comfortable.
Mm.
Even this time is also fine for me. Um, so let's see
Yeah. I mean,
what
it's
is.
fine for me also, but I don't know what others. So,
Yeah. So please, I mean, tell these things so that we should clear the confusion and we can be ready for the class
okay.
for a particular time. Okay, if anyone is having any news, please also post this thing in the group so that we can join accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then. Thanks everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.